Hello guys! BES Association is the student association of business economics in Universitas Prasetya Mulia and was first established in 2017, intending to support the development of student soft skills, especially in analyzing economic conditions which can impact businesses. Several programs have been conducted for the past 3 years. In 2018, Universitas Prasetya Mulia, together with Bachelor in Business Economics, held Best Challenge, a competition for senior high school students, discussing the topic of peer-to-peer lending, the next generation funding. The purpose of the competition is to improve students' analytical skills towards business and economics. And as a continuation of Best Challenge, BES Association has planned to conduct a competition for university students named Road to Cube 2021. It is a pre-event to introduce one of BES Association's biggest projects, Cube 2021. The competition aims to increase the awareness of Bachelor in Business Economics alongside BES Association, but most importantly is to encourage potential students in analyzing businesses with recent economic situations. Another event held by BES Association is Friday, which was held both in 2018 and 2019 by presenting mini talk shows, game sessions, and gatherings for high school students who have an interest in economics. The goal of this event is to expand their knowledge about economics. The third event is the Business Economics Conference, or BEC in short. BEC is an annual event by BES Association, held in collaboration with CSIS Indonesia, which helps to arrange the event for second semester business economics students to present their mini research regarding several topics that were brought up during the conference. The BEC is also used as a platform for final year business economics students to present their findings to the public as their thesis result in the conference. Apart from that, some of BES Association's new projects in 2020 are Podconomics and BES Talks. Podconomics is a podcast created to share knowledge and economic theories, while BES Talks is where committees discuss organizational works, experience, and many more. Both can be accessed on our social media, such as Instagram, YouTube, and Spotify. Besides podcasts, BES Association has successfully produced research by the R&D team, in the form of videos known as nugget economics. Next is Best Bonding Program. Best Association not only provides a platform for students to improve economic knowledge, but here we also have the opportunity to know each of business economics students in the bonding program. The bonding program has a lot of activities open for business economics students to build relationships with all batches. To further increase the existence of our organization, we have come up with more projects up ahead, such as the Business Economics Internal Competition or BEIC, Student Awards for all business economics students, comparative study, and also Best Newsletter. So, that's all about Best Association. Don't forget to follow our social media so you don't miss any information about our upcoming programs. See you!
Masih sangat banyak perusahaan di Indonesia yang tidak bertahan lama, apalagi berkembang. Dan itulah tugas gue. Hai, kalau lu mikir gue sekarang lagi telat buat ke kantor, lu salah besar. By the way, gue Dandi. Profesi gue sebagai Senior Research Analyst di CSIS, perusahaan research internasional gitu deh. Kerjaan gue ini cukup fleksibel karena gue nggak harus ke kantor jam 8. Tapi, waktu gue ke kantor, kantor gue nggak jauh sih. Ya, inilah kantor gue. Suasananya serius, tapi santai. Kerjaan gue seputar kantor biasanya sih cari data, wawancara, dan presentasi. Kerja mah harus serius, tapi hidup harus dibawa enjoy kan? Habis makan siang biasanya sih gue olahraga. Kadang gue juga jadi moderator, karena gue memang suka public speaking. Ngomong-ngomong soal public speaking, gue juga jadi dosen ekonomi di Universitas Prasetya Mulia. Why? Karena jurusan Business Economics di Prasetya Mulia itu yang pertama di Indonesia. Dan prodi ini sesuai dengan mimpi dan value gue untuk mencetak anak bangsa yang dapat memajukan perekonomian Indonesia. Ingin ngikutin jejak gue? Belajar dulu di S1 Prasetya Mulia Business Economics.
Hi everyone, good morning. I hope you have a good day today. It's a very sunny day on a Saturday, and very grateful for everyone here for being here. First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Gwenat Evelyn. You can call me Gwen. I was also an alumni from Prasetya Mulia back then, and today I'll be your MC slash moderator for the day. So once again, welcome to the second webinar of CUBE 2021. So I believe you guys have already followed the program since the beginning. And before we start, I would like to ask you guys, first of all, do you guys remember what is our first webinar and what was it about and who were the speakers? Maybe some of you can type on the comments so we can read that your Okay, let's see from the comment. And all right, I think everybody's trying to tune in. Yeah, I believe that you guys have also followed the first session, and I really believe that it was very insightful for you to actually really learn more about business economics and through the sharing sessions that will also help you to craft your project. And as we have gone through the first session, the first webinar, I believe that today will be much more insightful as well, as we will revolve around the discussion of plastic packaging. In the end of this sharing session, there will be a giveaway. So I just want to make sure that you guys can actively participate throughout the session today by asking questions. So you might get the chance to actually win the prize. First of all, I would like to thank you for all sponsors and media partner. To our sponsors, Indomaret, Mudah dan Hemat, Johnson& Johnson, for all you love, Lingotalk, your best pal in language learning, Kausa Indonesia, fashion with a cause, Skin Game, your skin listener, media and our media partner, B-Voice Radio, Motau Event, Initiative UI, Internet Indonesia, Student XCO Bandung, Opportunist, ISEC, Youth Development Community, Sustainable Indonesia, Kampus Update, Kompetenko, Saya Pilih Bumi, eventcampus.com, Event Campus, Acara Kampus, Radiomu, Green Generation Foundation, and Demi Bumi. Okay. And last but not least, we would also like to say thank you for our case contributor from Unilever Indonesia, Love, Beauty, and Planet. All right, guys, before we begin, let's view a bit of rewind video from our first webinar. Enjoy! Okay, so that was the rewind from our first session. It looks very fun, and I believe that today will be as much as fun as it was yesterday. All right, guys. So, once again, I would like to remind that I really hope that you guys can stay until the end of our session because there will be a lot of gifts coming in for you. So don't forget to actually tune in, take notes, and learn from our speakers today because it's gonna be very insightful, and I believe it's going to be very helpful to craft your project and also to actually to actually help you to make decision in the future and to be more insightful revolving around sustainability. All right, today we are going to have 3 distinguished speakers. I really believe that you guys actually already know who are the speakers, but before we start, I want to let you know that if you guys want to have any questions, you want to have any thoughts of what from the sharing session from the speakers today, I want you guys to participate in the comment box in the YouTube live, in which you can put any questions revolving around today's topic with the format name underscore IG username underscore question. So, for example, my name is Gwen. So you can use Gwen underscore Gwen1234 underscore question. The reason why we need your name, because we're going to reach you through Instagram. If you guys are the winner for the Lingotalk vouchers and Love Beauty Planet hampers. Okay? So don't forget to ask questions and really listen to what the speakers are going to share today. All right. So, best of luck for you today, guys. And let's learn today with our first speaker. I would like to introduce her before she come up to the stage. Her name is Miss Nurdiana Darus. She's the head of corporate affairs and sustainability at PT Unilever Indonesia. Prior to joining Unilever, she was a government official, a regional CSO leader, and a strategic consultant. So I believe that we can learn so much today from Ibu Nurdiana. Let's welcome Ibu Nurdiana Darus to the stage.
Hello.
Okay, Bu Nuriana, hi. Good morning.
Good morning.
You look so fresh with reds and ada itu ya gambar di belakang ya Bu, very fresh.
I thought I'd match the background.
Yeah, everything is very much looking good. Okay, Bu, I think your time is now, so I will let you share this your presentation, and I'll get back to you after your sharing.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sonia. Thank you. Thank you to all the organizers. And thank you all Q participants. Good morning. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nurdiana Darus. I'm the head of corporate affairs and sustainability of PT Unilever Indonesia Tbk. Today I will discuss circular economy in the plastic packaging. I know that previously you talked a lot about the donuts economics, but I think it's quite similar to what we promote within Unilever is the circular economy. And I hope we will all be able to learn more about the differences or maybe the similarities between the donuts and the circular economy. And lastly, I hope everyone is in good health and staying vigilant to exercising the 5M. Now, before we get to that, I'd like you to introduce you to our Unilever Compass. If perhaps this next slide, please. Thank you. Now, this Unilever Compass, when in 2019, Unilever launched the Unilever Sustainable Living Plan, or we call the USLP, that then we used to guide our sustainability programs between 2019 until 2020, last year, to 2020. Now, in 2020, we launched the Unilever Compass, an even bolder set of commitments to guide us to arrive at our purpose of making sustainable living commonplace. The vision of the Compass is for Unilever to be the global leader in sustainable business, and we will demonstrate how our purpose-led, future-fit business model drives superior performance, consistently delivering financial results in the top third of our industry. Now, this is really important because I think there have been a lot of questions whether to be being a sustainable business, could you really be financially sound as well? Unilever greatly believes that sustainable business is a profitable business. Our brands, next slide, please. Thank you. Our brands are a force for good, powered by purpose and innovation. They are at the driving seat to deliver the goals of the three Compass. Now, the three high-level commitments are improving the health of the planet, and improving people's health, confidence, and well-being, and contributing to a fairer, more socially inclusive world. Now, the discussion today is on our plastic packaging commitment, and this falls under the improved health of the planet, and our commitments would help us land a waste-free world. Next slide. If you see in the middle of the chart, there's the circle. Now, this is the main idea of circular economy in the middle here. It's very similar to donuts economics, that it is to ensure that our needs to maintain livelihood is met while we still protect the environment and our planet as well. So we don't overexploit our natural limited resources. At Unilever, we aim to keep plastic in the loop by 2025, we will have the amount of virgin plastic we use in our packaging and achieve an absolute reduction of more than 100,000 tons in plastic use. We will land this by also increasing the use of our post-consumer recycled plastic material in our packaging to at least by 25%. We will help collect and process more plastic packaging than we sell. And we ensure that 100% of our plastic packaging is designed to be fully reusable, recyclable, or compostable. Now, this is the value chain of the waste management system. We have an upstream, we have the middle portion, and we have the downstream. The upstream starts when thank you. Now, the upstream starts is when these products are received at your houses. So it's when you take them, let's say you bought them at Carrefour or a Transmart, and then you brought them home, and then you use these products, and then these plastic packagings become waste. This is what we call the upstream process. It's where the waste are generated. And then we also focus on the middle stream. This is where then what happens to this plastic packaging, all this waste packaging, what happens to them? How do they get collected? How do they get to be collected by the multi players in the middle stream here? And then afterwards, how do they get utilized in the downstream? Do they get recycled? Do they get sent to the landfill? What happens to them? So I will focus on these three parts of the value chain. Next slide, please. No, thank you. Now, in the upstream, before it gets to you as our consumers, what we do at Unilever, we rethink these plastic packaging. There are three approaches that we do this. We use less plastic, we use better plastic, and we can also try to use no plastic at all. Now, when we say less plastic, it's the design optimization. If you noticed before, I hope most of you use Rinso as your detergent. Our Rinso packaging have actually gotten shorter and bulkier. That's because we optimized the dimension of the packaging itself. The weight reduction refers to the thickness of the plastic. Before it was probably thicker, but it's not necessarily necessary to be that thick. So we reduce the amount of plastic that covers the plastic packaging. Now, it's very important to make sure that these packaging still protect the products within the packaging itself. This is our commitment to our consumers, so that our products arrive at your homes still safe and still as it was or packaged when it left our factories. Now, when we refer in the middle here, when we refer to better plastics, is when we start recycling. We start using the recycled plastic, or we use recycled PET, or we use the recycled PE. We also use, in some of our brands, also use ocean-bound plastic. This is we incorporate the recycled resin, the recycled plastics into packaging. In the way there, I hope you guys are also familiar with our bango. Our bango is 100% recycled PET bottled now. So be sure that if next time that you go to your favorite supermarket, have a look at bango and yes, because it's now made of 100% recycled PET. We have also introduced our refill stations as part of our commitment to introduce no plastic solutions. Our refill stations is now at Saruga in Bintaro. Please drop by and have a look at the products there. There is the same products, the same quality. It's just that you bring your own containers. Make sure they're clean and they're dry. They don't smell. Bring your own containers, and the friends at Saruga will help you to refill with your favorite products. We also use alternative non-plastic materials. You can see there our Pepsodent, our beloved Pepsodent toothbrushes. They now come in bamboo as well. So check them out, and if you like them, purchase them. It will really, really help for us to continue in our effort to really innovate further in this no plastics innovations. Next slide. We also collaborate with multiple parties in the waste collection. And you remember the waste collections in the middle portion. We connect with a lot of waste banks. We help to develop and nurture waste banks. We have 3,859 waste banks now in our network. We also work with recyclers and aggregators as well, and the Association of Scavengers or Waste Pickers as well. And we also work with schools and with pesantren to teach the kids how to segregate plastic waste in school, but also to develop waste banks as well in schools. I believe there's a video, a very short video there. If the organizer can just play that video very quickly. It's on the left-hand side, yeah. Oh. Can you play, is the last slide, the previous slide? Yeah, can you play the video? It's a YouTube link. No? Okay, never mind if that's not possible. Okay, no problem. Let's go to the next slide then. All right. Now this is at the downstream. Okay, and this helps in our efforts to collect and process more than we sell's commitment. We collaborate with the Pemda DKI Jaya, but also with the Cilacap government, and we partner with Solusi Bangun Indonesia. Now, Solusi Bangun Indonesia, if friends, you know that it's part of the Cement Indonesia group. What we do, what the collaboration with Solusi Bangun Indonesia and with the provincial governments is that we make use of the waste in the landfill. Now, what we do is we collaborate with Solusi Bangun Indonesia. We get the waste that have been in the landfill. We get them to the RDF plant. Yeah, the RDF plant is refuse derived fuel. This is an alternate use for plastic waste energy, by the way. And so it gets through a drying process, and then it gets absorbed by the cement factory. Now, this is to replace the cement factory's use of coal. So instead of using coal, they've now switched over to use the waste from the landfill. It's a great solution, right? We're helping the government, we're helping the provincial government clearing up the landfill while it's then be used to replace coal. It's the next best thing, I think. It's the next best thing to really be able to segregate and not use plastic at all. Okay, next slide. At Unilever Indonesia, we have two signature programs. I've mentioned the waste banks. This is a community-driven program. I believe we have around 450,000 people that are now part of the waste banks. They get waste bank books. You can see on the lower left-hand side there. Each participant, each bank holder, so it's called a waste bank, so they get a bank book as well. Each of them hold a waste bank book. And what happens is they bring in their plastic waste and all other waste, they bring it to the waste banks, and then they get recorded. Whatever they bring in, they get recorded on this waste bank book. And at the end of a month or at the end of 2 months or 3 months or whenever you want to cash out, you can cash out from the waste banks. Now, the right-hand side is what it just described. This is the refuse-derived fuel program. Next slide. Now, of course, Unilever Indonesia, we can't do this alone, right? No one can do this alone. Not the government, not us, not the NGOs. No one can do this alone. So we have to collaborate with everyone else. Now, we collaborate in a platform called PRAISE. This is the Packaging Recycling Association for Indonesia Sustainable Environment, PRAISE. This is a joint effort between 6 companies. There's Coca-Cola, Danone, Indofood, Nestle, Tetra Pak, and Unilever Indonesia. PRAISE then also initiated what we call IPRO. This is the Indonesia Packaging Recovery Indonesia. This organization aims to create a comprehensive collaborative response to address the challenges created by packaging waste. Now, there's a lot of challenges, of course, right? This is not it's an easy issue to tackle. But we believe very, very highly that if we can collaborate, we get all the bright minds and the bright minds of the CUBE participants as well to help us transform the packaging industry from a linear to a more circular industry. We also then rope in the recycling industry in the solution. I think we will have an even better future for Indonesia. All right, next slide. This is a video I hope you can show, because I thought, no, it's a YouTube link as well. It's quite perhaps at the end of my session, if the organizer can go into the YouTube link and play, would that be possible? I hope so. I don't. Anyway, if it's not possible to show the video at this point in time, we can always send you the link and to this great video. This is about generasi pilah plastik. It's the latest effort that Unilever Indonesia has just launched about a month ago. This is a call to action. It's a call to action for everyone, regardless of what generation you're from, whether you are, my mom's generation, my generation, my children's generation, your generation, the millennials, everyone can be part of the generasi pilah plastik. What does this really mean? It means that you are conscious of the plastic packaging that you use on a daily basis. You're conscious about what you do after you've used the products within the packaging itself. And this is a call to action for everybody, because everyone lives in homes, is to start segregating your plastic waste at home. It's a very simple solution, very simple method. 3 buckets of waste boxes. One is for your plastic packaging, one is for your organic, and the rest, and the other one is for everything else, right? You can put your paper, your carton boxes, and anything else. So, but one is dedicated to plastic, the other one is dedicated for organic, and the other one is dedicated for that. Even that is such a fundamental behavioral change for everybody, for all of us. So this is our call to action. If nothing else that you remember out of this morning from me, please remember generasi pilah plastik and do your best to start changing the paradigm for yourself and for the people around you at home. It's really, really important for us to be conscious of campaigning this movement and starting this movement, this moment forward. All right, next slide. Now, your case study is about Love and Beauty Planet, right? And I know that Ibu Melinda has explained to you what Love and Beauty Planet is all about, but I like to talk more about the sustainability part of it, right? So at Love and Beauty Planet, we are working very hard to make our packaging as carbon light as possible, coupled with strong initiatives. So in 2018, we started to make beauty products with high quality vegan, natural ingredients and essential oils, which helps make you and the planet more beautiful. Hence, Love, Beauty and Planet, right? So the Love and Beauty Planet, our purpose is small acts of love that make you and the planet a little more beautiful every day. Our mission is to inspire a movement of small acts of love, anything that you can do, any small acts of love by everyday change makers. This is all of us to create beauty in the planet. Love and Beauty Planet will address the gap of natural and sustainability. We do not compromise on performance with purpose at the heart of everything we do. We focus on 3 things that are important. It should be good for you, sustainably sourced, organic essential oils. It's naturally derived, safe for colored hair, safe for sensitive skin, right? And 100% vegan. But it's also good for the planet. We use 100% recyclable packs. We use 100% PCR bottles. And we use ethically sourced fragrances, and yes, no testing on animals at all. And no nasties, right? No nasties, no parabens, no silicones, and no colorants, and no mineral oil. And of course, at the end of the day, it's no guilt. When we use Love and Beauty Planet, you could be assured that you feel so good. The product is superior, but you feel good because what you've just used is good for the planet, but it's also good for your skin, and also good for your body, right? Next slide. Okay. Now, these are some of our programs. We will focus on the waste. We focus on coral. We will also focus on carbon footprint. Next slide. Now, in collaboration with Carbon Ethics, oh, I think the left-hand side also is missing. So in collaboration with Carbon Ethics, this is the left-hand side that's missing there. The Love and Beauty Planet will donate a portion of the profits from our sales, and the Ocean Cleans addition to plan 2,000 new corals in several locations in Indonesian waters to preserve the beauty of our oceans. Now, planting corals is important to maintain the marine ecosystems, in addition not to functioning as a habitat and food source for various types of marine life. Coral can also protect beaches and coastal areas from the brunt of the waves and reduce global warming because they have the ability to absorb CO2. Our ocean-bound plastics is waste in area was generated from or collected from waste in area around the ocean, which is mostly end up in the ocean. Love and Beauty Planet collects and recycles these plastics into special bottles for the Clean Oceans Edition series. I think you can find them in your closest stores. You find them in blue bottles. I forgot to put a picture of the Clean Ocean Edition series, but you can find them very easily in your favorite store. Now, each bottle of the Ocean Clean Edition is made of 22 to 30 grams of ocean-bound plastics. This means that by buying this product, consumers are contributing to helping reduce the potential for plastic waste in the ocean. That will be, I believe that is my last slide. So, in last, at Unilever, we're very committed to our sustainability programs. Love and Beauty Planet is one of the brands that is it's pioneering. It's pioneering also in this space. But Unilever is made up of people of the like-mindedness, right? The like-mindedness, and we have the same passion. And we would like to ask you, part of the Q participants, to also join Unilever. We have what we call the Unilever's Future Leaderships Program, or UFLP. This 3-year graduate program is designed to prepare Unilever future leaders by giving them challenging jobs, roles that prepare them for business leadership roles. The program encompasses rotations within and across the functions and accelerated learning environment. It's very exciting, very, very robust, but also very exciting. At the end of the program, you are you're familiar with the end-to-end business processes of Unilever. So that would be my last slide. I think the video now is available. Is that right? Thank you. There's no sound. Okay. All right. Maybe we can have a little discussion while we wait for the video, Mbak Gwyneth.
Hi, Bu.
Hi. While we wait for the video, I really like to
Yeah.
show the video because it's really exciting, and I really want this call to action. We're very, very excited about it, and I think the younger
Yeah.
generation, so yourself and the Q participants, could
Yes.
play a really vital role, right?
Agree on that. It was very interesting, Yabu, for your topics around like the circular economy and how Unilever tried to actually fill the gap of how we can actually serve customers but also save the planet. All right, I think before we actually talk more about it, I think the video is already ready. So
Yes.
shall we watch it together? Okay,
Yes.
please.
Plastik begitu dekat bagai sahabat, menjelma menjadi pendamping hidup keluarga Indonesia. Atau begitu dibenci bagai musuh hebat. Menjelma menjadi petaka, merusak alam Indonesia. Haruskah memilih antara dua? Atau bisakah plastik menjadi teman saja? Tetap pada fungsinya sebagai benda yang bermanfaat tanpa menjadi ancaman yang menjerat. Di Indonesia, tahun 2020 timbunan sampah mencapai hingga 67,8 juta ton. 15%-nya adalah sampah plastik. Prihatin memang, karena 88,17% sampah plastik masih diangkut ke tempat pembuangan akhir atau bahkan berserakan di lingkungan. Rusak ekosistem daratan maupun lautan. Jadi siapa yang seharusnya bertanggung jawab? Jawabannya, saya, kamu, kita, semua orang. Sampah adalah tanggung jawab bersama. Saatnya mari berbagi peran untuk jadi generasi pilah plastik. Generasi yang sadar diri, sadar tanggung jawab. Tak perlu sulit, tugas kita mulai dari diri kita, dari rumah kita. Pilah berdasarkan jenisnya. Bersihkan dan tempatkan di tempat sampah terpisah. Sampah organik, sampah lainnya, dan sampah daur ulang. Galau takut sampahnya dicampur lagi? Tidak perlu khawatir, ada begitu banyak bank sampah di sekitarmu. Sekarang, info bank sampah bisa dalam hitungan detik kamu temukan. Unilever Indonesia bekerja sama dengan Google My Business kini memudahkan kamu untuk mencari lokasi bank sampah terdekat. Ini adalah salah satu bank sampah binaan Unilever Indonesia. Tempat di mana sampahmu akan tetap terpilah dengan baik, tidak berserakan di alam, sekaligus memiliki nilai ekonomi. Dengan menabung di bank sampah, generasi pilah plastik seperti kamu tidak hanya berkontribusi terhadap kelestarian lingkungan dan ekosistem, tapi juga ikut mendukung terciptanya ekonomi sirkular. Yuk kita cari tahu lebih jauh sebenarnya apa yang terjadi dengan sampah kita di bank sampah. Pertama, daftarkan dirimu di bank sampah terdekat. Sampah daur ulang yang kamu bawa akan ditimbang dan dicatat. Lalu, petugas akan menambahkan setoran sampah tersebut di buku tabunganmu. Setelah itu, sampah yang terkumpul lalu akan disortir kembali oleh petugas sesuai jenisnya. Kemudian, sampah akan disalurkan ke rantai daur ulang selanjutnya, dibantu petugas dari suku dinas lingkungan hidup setempat atau pelapak yang telah bekerja sama dengan bank sampah. Jadi, kita semua punya peran masing-masing. Gak ada salahnya berbagi peran. Dimulai dengan perubahan sederhana, dimulai sekarang juga.
Saya generasi pilah plastik.
Okay, wow. Jadi that was the reason why you said that we need to watch those videos, ya Bu ya. Yeah, yeah. Cause I really believe as well that we need more education because maybe we have listened around like okay we need to pila plastic Bu if that's the term, right? But then we sometimes don't really understand of how to do it, and then the next step, then where should we put it, right? But so now I believe that you guys who actually watching this live session, you guys already got a bit of picture of how we can help the planet to actually survive and live sustainably for the future.
Yeah. So essentially, generasi pilah plastic is to segregate your plastic and to place them where it will be responsibly processed is
Mm.
not difficult at all, right?
Yeah.
So all you have to do is have the three boxes that you saw just now, segregate them at home, and then if you have enough, right, and then you need to get rid of them, you go into Google search and search for bank sampah or whatever terms, and these bank sampah will come up in your Google search. It's not easy. We
Yeah.
use
Yeah.
Google search every day, right?
Correct.
And if you
Exactly.
find
Exactly.
the nearest bank sampah to your house or to your offices, have a look, register yourself, and then bring in all your recyclables to the bank
Mm.
sampah. It will really, really great. It will really greatly help our country as well. And not
Okay.
only
That's
that, it will
yes.
also then start the maturity, the maturing of the recycling industry. So the recycling industry is not just some distant player. It starts from us, right?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So I hope everyone at Cube, really excited to be part of the Generasi Pilah Plastic. And thank you so much for having me this morning. Thank you, Gwyneth.
Thank you so much, Bu Nuriada. I've also tried to type it actually in Google, and yeah, I kind of find it. So there's Bang Sampah here. So if you guys want to try, actually, you just type simply like Google Bang Sampah. It will give you direction to the nearest Bang Sampah. Yeah.
Exactly.
So that's how. Okay, Bu, thank you so much for sharing on how we can actually help this planet and how Unilever actually try to also help this planet so we can live sustainably together. That and to make us understand that business, which is profitable, is also possible to help the planet to live sustainably. Thank you so
Yes.
much. I really believe that everybody's already have an insightful session today. Don't forget to take notes and remember the sharing session from Ibu Nurdiana today. And please drop any questions that you have on the comment. We will talk more again with Ibu Nurdiana after the two other speakers. Thank you, Bu.
Thank you.
See you.
See you.
All right, guys, I believe you already have a very insightful session from Bu Nurdiana. I personally learned a lot around sustainable living, on how actually we can live hand in hand, living sustainably with all the products that we're actually using. And yeah, I really hope that we can take actions after this, not just receiving information, but taking actions towards it. Okay. Now, let us proceed to the second speaker. Our second speaker is okay, yes, Ibu Fatih Ramadanti. She's currently a faculty member of Prasetya Mulia, but aside from academics, she also has co-founded a community recycling organization called Daur Project in 2018. So now, let's welcome Ibu Fatih Ramadanti to the stage. Hi, Bu Danti.
Hi. Can
I
you
think
hear
I've
me
met you.
clearly?
Yeah, I can hear you clearly.
Right.
I think I've met you back then when I was in university days.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. And so today, I would love to listen to you sharing around this thing about sustainability around plastic packaging. So I'll just
Right.
give the time and the stage to you, please.
Okay. Thank you, Gwen.
Welcome.
Right. So, okay. First of all, thank you very much for CUBE committee to inviting me today. So good morning, everyone. CUBE participants here. I hope you are in good conditions, yeah, in a healthy and safe place today. And I also want to send my prayers for those who are being impacted by the COVID-19 pandemics, as well as for all of the health workers that is working very hard to try to contain the spread of the virus. Yeah. Right. So today I'm going to share a little bit about the knowledge of plastic packagings, with you guys. So a little bit point that I'm going to share is, next please. Yeah. So the first point will be about talking about is packaging necessary. Second one will be plastic types and recycling problems. And the last one will be the circular economy in brief. Next. Right. Is packaging necessary? I think this is a very important question to be addressed first so that we can understand the role of packaging in our economy activity, as well as to kind of like understand why there's packaging in the first place, right? So next. So packaging plays an essential role throughout the life cycle of the product. Packaging contains, preserves, protects the product throughout the value chains and enable the proper and safe delivery to the final user. So if you can imagine when you bought something in Indomaret or in the supermarket, they usually come in with a packaging, yeah? And the packaging role there is actually trying to preserve and protect the goods that you are trying to buy so that when you consume it, it's still in the good conditions. So if we think about an example, let's say packaging to preserve food, so it's a food packaging. The packaging is actually wants to extend the shelf life of that product, right? So somehow it actually tried to prevent a food waste generations. While if we think about food waste problem now in Indonesia, we also has generated quite a huge amount of food waste. So in 2019, we generated around 23 to 48 million tons of food waste. So that number is pretty huge and perhaps unimaginable, yeah? So if we try to measure whether with something that imaginable, you might think of like 5,000 to 12,000 Asian elephants. So it's a huge amount of food waste there. Next. Right. And if we want to talk specifically about the role of plastic packaging, so packaging, there is several materials, yeah, metals, glass, for example. So if we think about plastic specifically, plastic is actually serves several function and characteristics. So plastic are versatile, light, and can be produced at relatively lower cost. This is usually why producers choose plastic over the other materials. And also, the small size packaging actually has a role in economic inclusions. So if we think about Indonesia, several group in Indonesia still live in lower economic level. Yeah, imagine a daily worker who work today and earn today. They might not be not able to afford a big size of food or big size of product uh, daily, right? So in that kind of economic group, a small size product is actually preferable, and it gives the format of the packaging, the small size, give them an accessibility to actually able to consume the product. Next. However, so I'm not saying that our packaging system now is perfect. There is also several flaws in it. Next. Indonesia actually generates around 6.8 million tons of plastic waste per year, where 70% of it is considered mismanaged, and only about 10% of it is being recycled. Next, please. And if we want to talk specifically about plastic packaging waste, in Indonesia, we generate about 5.4 million tons of plastic packaging. And in the total of that 5.4 million tons, only 0.6 million tons is actually recycled, or about 12% of it. The other 9% is actually leaked into seas, lakes, and rivers, while the huge amount of it, or about 62%, is actually mismanaged. So that that amount of volume of plastic waste, can we go back to the previous slide? Sorry, yeah. So that huge amount of 62% waste mismanaged can actually affect the environmental and also society around that landfill area. Next. Right. So the plastic leakage is the problem. The plastic leakage become a huge problem since most of our plastics are now made out of the fossil fuels, where it can only be degraded in 100 years, if not 1,000 years. Yeah. So that plastic leakage actually polluting our ocean, harming the animals, contributing to biodiversity loss, also contribute to land degradations while it's intervene the soil ecosystem, break down into microplastics that also harmful to the animal. And also if the plastic is burned, like the practice that usually can still be found in Indonesia, the plastic can convert to a dioxin that is very bad for our health as well. Next. So we've talked a little bit about the role of plastic packaging before, yeah, and where is the problem is actually laying at, which is the plastic leakage. Now, I would like to also share a little bit about the plastic types and the recycling problems. Next. Okay, so let's start with the symbol. I'm sure some of you guys here watching this YouTube pretty familiar with this kind of symbols. Yeah, so these symbols actually give you information about the plastic types. When you have a plastic packaging, you can find the symbols usually at the bottom of the packaging, and in each depending on which number the packaging has, it will says a different kind of material. Yeah. Perhaps what I want to say here is these symbols sometimes being misinterpreted. So because it shapes like a triangle and also has an arrow and a number in it, some people think that these symbols means that the packaging is actually recyclable. While it is, in fact, it is not that easy. It is not that simple. It doesn't mean that packaging can easily be recycled. So among those 7 types here, only several of them is commonly being recycled. So the most common one will be number 1, number 2, number 5, and number 6. While the rest of it is still can be hardly to be recycled. Next. And if we talk about specifically the plastic packaging and how it is actually contribute to the total usage of plastic in Indonesia, plastic packaging is actually contribute around 74% of all plastic usage in Indonesia. So it is quite huge amount that plastic packaging contribute to our plastic usage. Next. Right. And like I mentioned before, only 12% of those plastic packaging waste are being recycled. Next. Right. And that 12%, such a low number, it comes with reasons. So why is the recycling rate is so low? Because the recycling activities are very, very tricky. Imagine the current system that we have. Bu Nurdiana actually already mentioned a little bit about of it previously about the linear system that we have. So we currently practicing the linear economy system where we take, make, and dispose our the product that we consume. So we first extract a lot of natural resources, and then we create a product from it. And after that, we distribute it to the consumer, and they consume the product. But after that consumption, they just dispose the remaining materials that is left not consumed by the consumers. So it's kind of like one-way system, yeah. We extract, and then after that we dispose at the end. And having this kind of system come in the first place, it is making the recycling activity very tricky, because what we need to do in recycling is we need to retrieve all the materials that we want to recycle in the landfill, where the landfill, we know that a lot of product is there, a lot of materials is combined together. So it's hard to retrieve the material that we need in recycling process. Not to mention also the other stages that needed, like you need to clean it up, you need to sort it up by color, by types of the materials. In plastic itself, we have 7 types of plastic, so it's quite a huge effort that needed, and it's also need a huge amount of investment as well. The other challenge is about Indonesia is we still also lack in infrastructure, as well as our waste management is not that established yet. So we still have a lot of challenge in terms of how we integrate our waste management system and mindset and behavior of the society or the consumers, where we used to live in a linear system, right? So taking an effort to clean it up, to sort it up, will takes time. Next, please. So how could we escape from that kind of problems that we already face now? So there is a concept that is being developed and also implemented in the other countries around the world, called circular economy. I'm sure Bu Nurdiana also agree with me in this case. So circular economy here is a concept that wants to replace our current paradigm about linear economy system. Next, please. So our linear economy here, previously I mentioned that we do take, make, and dispose kind of stages, yeah. And at the end, it ends up, or it results with a huge amount of waste, like just like in the slide, yeah. And the circular economy wants to replace that kind of thinking where we only think one way or linearly to much more circular. So instead of disposing the remaining material that is not consumed by the consumers, we want to reuse it, reprocess it, recirculate it back to the economy, so that it creates more value in our society, in our economy, while also actually produce much less waste at the end. Next. So circular economy provide alternative solutions for plastic packaging waste. So this is, you might see a framework on the right-hand side about the rating framework. This framework is actually introduced by Ellen MacArthur Foundations. The framework is trying to explain or trying to give some way of how we can actually rethink the business processes that we use for now. So there is 3 things that we able to rethink. The first one is rethink the packaging, rethink the business model, and rethink the product. Next. For the rethink the packaging, actually the previous presentation by Bu Nurdiana also mentioned it a little bit, yeah. So for rethink the packaging, we want to rethink about whether the packaging that we use now could be substitutes, could be made out of more sustainable materials, for example, or could be eliminated at all. So in this case, an examples that I chose is the Apple company, which is an edible coating company that replaced the plastic wraps for vegetables with kind of like a wax spray, so that they just spray the vegetable, and that wax is actually able to protect the vegetable from being damaged soon. Yeah, so it's extend the shelf life of those vegetables. Next. For rethink the business model, we want to rethink whether the business model that we have now is can be changed, modify a little bit. So in this case, my example will be from Algramo, where they provide a smart dispensing system to the society. So instead of buying a new cleaning liquid in the supermarket, where you buy not only the liquid but also the packaging, you can actually reveal it in this kind of stations, yeah, refill stations. So you no longer need to buy another packaging in order to be able to consume more of the cleaning liquids. Next. And for the rating the product, in here the example will be Bite toothpaste. So when we want to rethink the product, we might want to think of whether the product came into another format, another shape, another size, for example. So in here, Bite actually transform a liquid toothpaste into a much more solid toothpaste, so that they no longer use of any plastic tubes to give the consumer what they want. Yeah. Next. And those three things, example that I've mentioned before, is from abroad, yeah, from the other country, but this rethink frameworks is actually does already exist in Indonesia too. So in terms of packaging, Bu Nurdiana has mentioned it before that Unilever has rethink the packaging that they use. Also here I will mention a seaweed-based packaging that is made by Evo and Co company, which is perhaps will be explained later on by our next speaker. And also we have Cyclus Refill. So we also have this kind of smart dispensing system, yeah. So you can refill the household needs that you want to refill. In Indonesia, it's already here. And in terms of rethinking the product, several businesses is actually also offering this kind of product. In here, for example, is Segara Naturals, where they provide kind of like shampoo bar and a lot of other personal care product that is much more sustainable in terms of they produce less waste at the end. Next, please. Right. So that fact actually says that circular economy is actually already being implemented in Indonesia. I would mention a little bit about in the government side, yeah. So in 2018, our government of Indonesia is actually being chosen by the World Economic Forum to be a pilot countries to conduct the National Plastic Action Partnership. So World Economic Forum, together with government of Indonesia, would like to tackle the plastic pollutions in Indonesia. In 2020, our Ministry of Planning and Development, or Bappenas, is actually trying to internalize this circular economy concept in their implementations. So they want to reach the medium-term development goals that we have using this circular economy framework. Also, a lot of local governments are already implementing regulations such as single-use plastic ban and so forth. So, in the government sides, we already see some kind of action towards circular economy, towards a more sustainable Indonesia. Yeah, in community side, we also seen quite a lot of sustainable community movement, West Bank, like campaign buy plastic bag, diet kantong plastic, and in the business sides, there's also quite a lot of innovative business that actually trying to solve this kind of problems. Okay, next, please. So this is going to be my last slides. So to conclude, I will just would like to acknowledge that we are living in a challenging time for now. So we are faced by a lot of environmental problems, a lot of social problems, not to mention we currently live in the middle of pandemic, yeah? Yet we also live in an era of progressive technological advancement and knowledge accumulations, where the possibilities endless. So in here, I would like to invite all of the Cube participants here to be part of the solutions of the problems that we are currently facing. Yeah, to embrace the opportunity that we have now. Okay, I think that will be it from me. Thank you very much.
Hi, Budanti. Thank you so much for
Hi,
sharing.
hi,
Hi,
Gwen.
thank you so much. So, yeah, I learned something also today that around circular economy, right? So it's not just the matter of fact of the moment we create something, then we see it like, okay, it's being thrown and it's done, right? But actually making things work in a roundabout, right? So on
Right.
how we, which I already saw the like kind of the picture in Ibu Nurdianti's presentation in the beginning,
Yes,
right?
yes,
In which we create products, but then being used and how we can actually use it again, recycle it again to be, I mean, not recycle it again, but how we can actually make our those kind of ecosystem in which everything becomes round and round, so it's gonna be more sustainable. Yeah,
yes.
and
Correct.
yes, and we're actually trying to move onwards in Indonesia step by step, even though there's a lot of things that we still need. There's a long way to go, I believe, like not just
Yes,
like on how the business works, but also how we can educate the consumers,
yes.
the yeah, the entities of all Indonesia. Yeah.
Yeah, just like
Okay.
what Bu Nurdiana said before, that this is the problem that no one single stakeholder can
Yeah.
solve. So
Correct.
we need to solve it together in the community sides, in the
Yep.
business side, as well as government. So in Indonesia, it's a good news that government is actually already starting this
Mhm.
movement.
Yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of regulations, a lot of program as well. So it's an exciting time to be part of these solutions for our country.
Mm-hmm. Correct,
Yeah.
correct. And maybe like just a simplest example, like they start on the side of the first funnel, they start to reduce like using plastics. Like for example, when we purchase products from let's say Gojek or Grab Food or Shopee Food, we start seeing like there are options of not using calories, for example,
Yes.
right? Like the
Correct.
simplest one, the simplest form, and we're trying to moving there onwards. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Budanti, for your sharing session.
Thank
And
you, Gwen.
everyone, CUBE attendees, don't forget to drop your questions for Ibu Danti. If you have any, if you want to ask questions to all the speakers, just let us know that you want to your questions to be up for the three speakers or just specific one speaker. Don't forget because you have the chance to win a giveaway prize in the end of the session. Okay, I'll see you again, Budanti.
Okay.
All right, guys. I'm back again with me alone here on the stage. We've listened from the two speakers around circular economy and how theoretically it is being implemented in Indonesia and both in Unilever. And if you guys notice, in the last presentation, in the two last slides from Ibu Danti, she has mentioned this one business that we're actually going to talk directly with the founder. Do you guys already know, or I want you guys to drop some comments here. Who's going to be our next speaker? This business has already been mentioned before in the slide. All right. So yes, it is Ifo and Co. And I would love to invite Mr. David Christian, the founder of Ifo and Co. And besides this, he's also a Forbes awardee of 30 under 30 in 2020. It was just last year. And he was also the winner of Wira Usaha Mandiri in 2021. All right, without a further ado, let us welcome Sir David Christian to the stage. Hai, Pak David itu, Kak David.
David aja.
David. Okay, hi David. Thank you for coming here. A lot of hassle juga ya, cobain StreamYard ini segala macam, tapi we managed to have you here on the stage. Very grateful. Okay, I think I won't talk much about this because I'll give the stage and time to yours. So please share about Ifo and Co to us, and I'll get back to you soon.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, hello everyone. Thank you for having me here before for the Cubes and also Prasetya Mulia. I'm really glad to be here, and then hopefully I can like share and then also can like inspires like all of you guys. And thank you so much also earlier with Bu Nurdiana, yeah, and Bu Danti, and was like mentioning us like before like our presentations like on the slide as well. Yeah. Maybe today I want to also talk a little bit more about the circular economy. Basically, my presentations maybe like quite similar because I also put like the circular economy and the linear economy presentations. But I think we can also talk more about like how Ifo and Co basically bringing those concept, the circular economy concept, to our own companies by rethinking the product, the packaging, and also like the business model that we do. So yeah, maybe you can go next to the next slide directly. Yeah, so a little bit about Evo & Co. We just founded back in 2016. Back then, like not a lot of people actually like talking about plastics issue or like circular economy issue. But we also actually during 2016 to 2018, we are more focusing on developing the products, the internal teams, and we are more focusing on the business back in 2019 actually. Yeah, so it's a long journey, but it's still just started as well. Ifo & Co, basically, we have a big vision that we want to create a world without plastic pollutions by providing single-use plastic alternatives items, and we want to be like a one-stop solution for that. But at the same time, we also want to create a collaborative movements between everyone because our values are innovations that we always want to create innovation and bringing like another innovations that are sustainable for the planet as well. But also we need to collaborate. Like earlier was Bu Nudiana mentions that 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 collaboration is very important, right? And I'm totally like we are totally agree with that because that's actually we are also one of our value. And Evo & Co, we also have 3 different brands under us, which is EvoWare, EvoWord, and Rethink Campaign. Next. So before we talk more about Evo & Co, I just want us to actually goes back to our planet, right? Our Earth, which is our Earth's been around for 4.5 billion years old. Is a very very long time. And then if anyone here, how old is human been around in the Earth? So if I Google it, is I think it's about like 400 to 500,000 years old. So which is not very long compared to 4.5 billion years old. So if we kind of like condense those 4.5 billion years old to 24 hours, actually human been around only for 3 seconds, right? But during these 3 seconds, like what have we done to our planet, right? So we can go next. I have this video. Maybe that if we can play the video that shows actually that illustrate how we actually destroying our Earth. We cannot play in the video, yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, maybe we can like share the video later. So basically, in the video shows that everything that we do, especially now in today's conditions, like Budanti earlier already explains, is linear economy, right? Which is in the linear economy, there is we can just next directly until the last, yeah. So in the linear economy, there is a term that are invented by human, that are not really good terms, which is like waste, right? Because in the nature itself, there is in the our living systems in the nature, actually there is no such things as waste because everything is come back again to the like to the nature. Is like to like when we die, and then we actually become nutritions for the planet, right? Like for the soils, and then like it can like grow back. So for 4.5 billion years old, our Earth was doing fine, right? But now we actually have the biggest threat in our lifetimes, which is the environmental problems, right? Like climate change and then like waste and everything. And that's because actually this linear economy, and then like also but also like the problems not only on the like businesses like the producers or like governments, but also we as individuals also can uh, are actually contributing on these problems because the way we consume things are not like like we consume things like unresponsibly, right? Because like for example, if you eat food, then like you eat like too much food, then like you then like we create like food waste, or like when we use like our clothes or like phones or any other things that are still good, but we just don't want to use it anymore because of the trend or like style. I think that's also like contributing to a lot of waste that we created, right? And then also like the way we kind of like treat our like at the end of the life products, so that become a waste as well. That's so we also as individuals we contribute to those like to this problem as well. So I think it's very important to us to know that we can also like make a change, even like a small change, right? So next. Next, this is like also like as Bu Dante earlier already mentions about the circular economy, that the best way are actually mimicking the nature, as I mentioned before, because our Earth is already 4.5 billion years old. The best way is just like to see what's been working for 4.5 billion years old. We need to take the resources that are sustainable resources, is need to be renewables, but at the same time also as like in this case, for example, in our case, like farmers, right? Like we are working also try to make programs with the seaweed farmers to actually so that we can increase their livelihood, because without those farmers there's not going to be our products as well, right? And then we need to create a products that are useful, good quality, and then that are important that people really can use it. And then as a consumer, as an individuals, we need to consume it responsibly, so that at the end of the day, when when we're talking about the packaging, it can be either composted and back to the nature, or it can be recycled or upcycled. So it can be new resources again, and it can be like go rounds and rounds, as earlier already mentioned by the previous speakers, Bu Nirdiana and Bu Yanti. Next is about like how we actually implementing this concept, the circular economy, to our products. The first brand that we have back in 2016 is called EvoWare, which focusing on innovations for plastics, single-use plastics alternatives that are made of seaweed. We actually use seaweed because Indonesia first is because of its local. Indonesia is the one of the largest seaweed producers in the world, and we still have a lot of rooms to grow in the seaweed. And seaweed are actually very sustainable because seaweed can absorb carbon dioxide and also can release oxygen as well. So the more seaweed we plant, actually the better it is. But at the same time, we also see that there is a lot of seaweed farmers. They are very poor, and we hope that by doing this business, we can also help the seaweed farmers, which is like we just like recently do some pilot project in Thousand Island as well with the seaweed farmers. And next, this is the first product that we created. It's called Elo Jello. So Elo Jello is basically edible cups that's made of seaweed, and it has like different flavors. The first idea of the Elo Jello cups are actually like we want to raise awareness. So we were like back in 2016, there was not a lot of people talking about this issue, and then like even like when I talk to my parents, I talk to my friends, like all of them, like none of them actually supported me to actually like create these products, because everyone was just like who wanna eat cups, right? And then like even my dad was like if you give it for me for free, I'm not gonna eat it. And then I was like, I'm not gonna give it for you for free anyways. So but like the idea are actually just just to educate first, just to raise awareness. And I was thinking to raise awareness and to educate people, especially for the like this issue, like we need to educate them in a different way. Like we cannot just educate them like in just lecture them or like give them like articles. I think like the people who's not interested, they're not gonna read it, and it's kind of like very boring. And I was thinking that we need to create a product that are unique and different and never been created before in Indonesia, so that like we can get the attention, we can get the awareness, right? And then from there we can actually say that, hey, we created this because of the environments, because we just want to show people that we need to like we have these plastic problems, and then like we can like we can like we need to take actions, and then we can like educate them like easily. So these Jello cups are actually usually used in the video. The Jello are actually usually used in party, like birthday party, wedding parties, or like event. So make the parties more fun, and you can eat the cups, and then just make it like more, so we can approach the people is more fun, like with the Jello cups. And then the second products that we have next in EvoWare brand is a seaweed-based packaging that are actually invented not by me, is invented by my friend back in 2011. But 2017 we launched the packaging together, and then from this seaweed-based packaging, we actually won also the Circular Design Challenge by Ellen MacArthur Foundations. So the idea of the seaweed-based packaging is to replace single-use small sachet packaging that usually can be recycled, right? But now there is some technology that can also like already like recycle as like the sachet, I think. But yeah, like the seaweed-based packaging now, the idea is for some, because it dissolves also in the water and it's also edible. The idea is if you want to use it, for example, for the instant noodle seasoning, so you don't need to open the seasoning anymore. You can just put the hot water. You can just put hot water, and then it will dissolve. And because of it's made of seaweed, have a high nutritions, so you can basically get some nutrition from the instant noodle, so it can get a little bit healthy on that. And then can be for coffee sachet or for the non-food product as well, for the soap, for example, soap sachet or sanitary napkins or any kind of packaging, because it's actually a flexible packaging. Yeah, on that. And then that's our second products. And the third, yeah, this is also and back in 2019, because we actually received a lot of inquiries that are like the companies, not like the inquiries that we get, not only like for cups or packaging, but also for others, single-use plastic replacements. So that's why in 2019 we see, of course, like we want to get the opportunity, right? And then like when we're talking about like sustainable business, we need to think about people, planet, and profit, right? Meaning that the more like we need to three of them are actually need to be together. And then once the company grows, the impacts will grow as well. So we grow the brand, our products, we diversify. In 2019 we created the second brand, it's called EvoWord, that actually we providing another plastic alternatives that are not made from seaweed. So put it simply, EvoWare is made of seaweed, EvoWord is the other materials. Next. So we have some products from as simple as wooden cutleries or like bamboo cutleries, that we incorporate also the like local artisans from the like for the bamboo, because it's handmade. And then we also have like simple as paper straw, paper bags, but also we have like sugarcane containers. We also try to develop with the areca leaves or like banana midrips. And then we have the cassava bags as well. And then the latest one we have a straw that we just launched is edible straws. It's made of rice. So we have like the full set of the cups and the straws that like you can eat. Yeah, but the idea is just, yeah, to get like attention, to get the awareness, but you don't have to eat it if you don't want to eat it, for sure. And that, and then yeah, so all of our products, we make sure it is like home compostables. So it's not only like industrial compostables, because I don't think we really have any industrial composting facility at the moment in Indonesia. So we just make sure all of the products are actually home compostables. And we've been actually also exporting the products, like our products, to about like 52 countries as well in that. And then next, yeah, and then next, the third brand that we have, it is not a brand, it is actually like a campaign. It's more like a movement, because we also see that to create a world without plastic pollutions is our vision, right? Providing products or solutions, yes, that's very important, but also it is also very important to raise awareness, right? Because me myself, I was like before, I wasn't really before, like I didn't know about these problems, right? Like I didn't know about like the environmental problems, the plastic problems. But once I actually realized, once I actually becoming more aware, uh, and then like I just wanted to do some things and then created Evo and Co, right? But if I wasn't aware, or if I didn't know about like these problems, I don't think I'm gonna do anything about it, right? Because I didn't even know that the problem is exists. So that's why in 2019 we also created a campaign. It's called Rethink Campaign, that we want to make it as a collaborative movement between individuals, communities, businesses, governments, and NGO as well, to actually rethinking about the way we live, rethinking about our lifestyles. Uh, that so we make the campaign back in 2019. And then next, so we do a lot of different activities. We from like to raise awareness, to educate the people. Like we do it from, we make a drama musicals. We make some drama musicals in Jakarta, in Penang, in Kuala Lumpur, and we also we do beach cleanups in some rural area, and we plant 10,000 trees. All of those, like we also for sure collaborate with our partners, either is our clients or business partners or like the local governments. In Sabah, Malaysia, we actually also make like a plugging run. It's like jogging while picking up trash. We make the biggest one there in Malaysia. And then like we do like just many different activities, like offline activities throughout 2019. And then we I think we have engaged about like 40,000 people in our campaign as well, just in 2019 alone when we created it. But during the pandemic, of course, we cannot do these offline activities, right? So back again, we need to rethinking about how we actually can educate them, so how we can also raise awareness and still giving a big impact on that. So in 2021, we make a new programs, like the programs that we make is actually is collaborative, is still collaborative programs that can be last for a long time. So next, so one of it is called Rating Bat. So we collaborate with a one waste management company that actually that recycles a cigarette butt, and I'm actually also have a waste management company that doing waste from the pickup until separation until recycle. But this one we collaborate with Parompong, that actually like recycling cigarette butt. So what we do, we actually make a pilot project at first last month in about 60 spots in Jakarta and Bandung to collect their cigarette butt waste in the cafe and restaurants, and then using our seaweed bags, so that like the organic bags, so the cigarette butt will put in our organic bags, and then after that when it's sent to the Parongpong, it can like they can just directly dump like the bags and and the cigarette butt in their recycling machines, because then it doesn't will like it will be more touchless, and then it will have less risk of the virus spreading, because before they actually like the way they like people collect it is by using like conventional plastics or a box, and then like in the like the workers still need to pick it up and then put it in the machines, right? So by doing this, we actually have collaborated a lot, and then the cigarette butt can be recycled into high value products like ashtray or stools or tiles. And then yeah, on that, so you guys can check out our Instagram as well to see where you can like if you want to contribute. And I don't know, like smoking is not good, but if you guys smoke, please don't make it worse by actually littering the cigarette butt like on the planet, because actually cigarette butt is still have some like the microplastics and the plastics like also in the butt, right? So that's actually also one of the biggest waste like in the world, the cigarette butt, which is like we don't realize, like we didn't realize it also before on that. And then next, also we have programs called Warung Lestari. We collaborated with Carbon Ethics on this. So with the Warung Lestari, our sustainable food stalls, our idea are actually we want to expand the market. We want to give an impact to more into middle lower class, because all of I think the solution is there, the regulation is there, but just it's very difficult to enter like middle lower class, right? Which is, but you know. But I think like that's very important to tap the middle lower class, because they are the one that also contributing more waste, right? Because they use a lot of like plastic as well. So what we do in Warung Lestari, we actually subsidize our products to become cheaper than plastics, like in the warung. But of course, we also have a sponsor on that. So the program is like plastic offsetting programs. But instead of just collecting the waste, but we also preventing the waste in the first place by actually avoiding the waste. And then we also do like education. So we educate like the warung owners. Like we started with straws. We can just next. So we started with straws. So we educate the warung's owner not to give out straws if the customer don't ask about it. But if the customer asking that they want to use straws, they can just basically use our rice straws or our paper straws that we're gonna like give them that cheaper than plastics, right? And then we have our own curriculum to educate like the warungs, and that which we will go to the warung every month to educate them, like to make a report to see like how much plastics they've been actually like replacing, and like they've been like reducing as well by our programs. And then also we will give like educational materials like poster and banners that we will put in the warung, so that like the people that eat in the warung, they can get more educated as well. They can see and they can read and they can be more educated. So our plan is in 1 year is to replace 1 million plastic straws, and then helping about like 5,000 warung to become warung lestari, to become like sustainable food stall as well on that. Yeah, so that's how we actually try to enter a middle lower class as well. So from this like this program can be like limitless as well, because we maybe in the first 6 months we're gonna start with straws, and then after that we can goes to like other products like the other plastic packaging. And even we want to educate them to separate their waste, so that we can then like pick it up and then like recycle it. Then we can also give actually benefit in the warung, so that they can get more economical benefit as well, like in the warung, that we can also show that hey, by being eco-conscious, eco-friendly, they can also it can be also good for the business as well, even in the more middle lower like incomes businesses, right? On that. And then next, yeah, I think yeah, I'm gonna live with this quote, that we cannot solve a problem by using the same kind of thinking when we when we created them. So we need to actually rethinking about everything that we do right now, and just see it from when we have a problem, just see it from the first principle thinking, which is we need to break down into the very fundamentals problems, and then created a problem, and then created a solution, and a more innovative solution on that from there. Yeah, so thank you everyone. Maybe, oh yeah, like the video, uh, if you guys want to see the video, I think that will be good as well, because that's also really show, I think, how our how the linear economy systems been destroying the planet from the beginning. Yeah.
Okay, that was a fun video, but it's also at the same time um making us reflect, yeah, to all the things that we're actually unconsciously perhaps like making decision towards it gitu ya David ya, towards the planet and how we're actually going to live in it gitu kan ya. Anyway, thank you so much for the sharing of we can literally see directly of how you try to implement that circular economy of all the concepts that being shared previously by the speakers. And to add on top of what Unilever has done, you also have done something towards from your company. It was amazing. The products were very innovative, edible, edible plastic cups. So if any of you guys have any events, maybe not now, perhaps in the future, or just like having maybe like a party with your own family, you can buy those kind of cups, yeah, at home. So you don't need to wash any cups anymore or using the plastic cups. You also create products from seaweed-based packaging in which you leverage all the resources we have in Indonesia, and that's very powerful. I mean, like it helps Indonesia as well on the resources. You use the resources from Indonesia and goes back to us again. So, such a great ecosystem, and yeah, it's just amazing to see how you've actually very involved into the sustainable living, and it's no wonder that you've actually granted the Forbes 30 under 30 and win the Wira Mandiri. So yeah, I believe everyone's here have learned a lot from you, David, and we would love to know more about this movement, this business that you've been doing. And I've already seen a lot of questions coming in. So guys, let's move on to the next Q&A session. But before that, let's bring up every speakers from the three speakers to the stage. Alright, everyone's here. Yay, akhirnya full screen ya, ada 4 orang. Okay, so before we start the Q&A session, I would like to remind once again, for any of you who still have any questions, please drop it on the comment box using the format of name underscore IG username underscore question, because you will have the chance to actually win a prize from Lingotalk vouchers and also Love Beauty and Planet hampers. All right, I think we already have several questions coming in. Okay, we would love the team to share the questions. All right, here you go. The question is from Edric. He's asking to Ibu Nurdiana, Bu, what do you see in the future of the packaging of product? What do you see the future of the packaging of product? I mean, how it revolves in the future. How should it be, or what's your thought on that?
Okay, thank you for the question. So I think one thing that we have to acknowledge that plastic has been very useful for us in our day-to-day life, right? And I know if you remember the video that we showed, the generasi pilah plastic, is not to condemn plastic, but it's really is to change the way we use the plastic and we appreciate the plastic because of plastic, we have so many innovations, like the prosthetic legs, prosthetic arms. Those are all made from plastics, right? And then during the pandemic, we use a lot of plastics for our within our mask. There are plastics within our mask, the gloves, or the APD that the NACAS uses. They're all made of plastic. So we have to give appreciation to plastic. And so, but the question is, how do we then manage this use of plastic? We have to manage this consciously, and we have to manage it. We have to use it as efficient as possible, right? And that also goes into how we at Unilever look at packaging of our products, is to use the plastic within our packaging as efficiently as possible, while it still provides the necessary protection and security for the products itself in the packaging. I know Lady Bufati also touched on this. It's very important to present to our consumers products that are safe, right? That's the fundamental why all FMCGs are in this business, right? And it has to come to within a packaging that is now, we need to rethink, like by David Christian said, we need to rethink of how we present this packaging to be reusable, compostable, or recyclable. And that's part of the Unilever's commitment. And then hence we've come with this three-prong approach, whether we come in with packaging that are of less plastic, whether we come in with a packaging that are of better plastic. So we use the recycled resin from previously virgin plastics. We then reprocess it. Those recycled resin, we use it back into our packaging, or we don't use any plastic at all, like what David Christians is pioneering here. I hope that answers the question.
Okay, I think a very good question, good answers, but very holistic in answering the questions. So if I can recap, guys, it's more into not eliminating it at all, because it's been very useful to our life as well, but it's more into how we can rethink on using it by using less, or use a better plastic, or no plastic at all. So it's more into that kind of approach. All right, let's move on to the next question from Talia. Does the concept of circular economy only apply to solve the plastic waste problem, or it can also be used to solve other problems in society? To Ibu Danti, you may take this question.
Okay, thank you. Such a very good questions here, yeah. So circular economy, like the concept that all the speakers here is actually bringing up, is we talk a lot of it is towards solving the environmental problems, yeah. But then it is not actually just the environmental problems, and in this case is specifically plastic waste, just plastic waste. So let's say the circular economy can reduce the plastic waste, right? But then if we think about the recycling industry that being growing up, because of this circular economy concept, we able to see that it creates an employment towards the economy. So a lot of people will be employed in this kind of emerging industry that will be developed because of this circular economy concept come into place. And if we think that recycling process, when we think of our waste management become better, we can separate it, the waste in the first place, and then we separate the organic and inorganic. We not only solving the plastic waste, but we also solving that kind of food waste problems. And food waste itself not only damaging the environment where it is end up like landfill, it is also generating CO2 emissions that will contribute to climate change problems. So this circular economy really is not only about better waste management or so forth. It's actually trying to grab on quite a lot of another challenge, not only environment but also society. I hope that's answered the questions.
Yeah. I think very much insightful, boy. Yeah, because the moment that you actually make it circular, we have the process of making it reprocessed again to be used again, and it took like assets, right, or people to actually make it happen, and we give like a new job actually to actually for them to help us create those like cycle. Yeah, that makes sense. All right, let's move on to the next question, please. This question comes from Raka. How to maintain consistent company performance in comparison with other plastic issuers? I think this question can be answered from David.
Yeah, consistency for sure. It is like super important, right? It can also spread, right? Like consistency can spread. Like for example, like not only like in the company area as an individual level, like once, like like when I actually already like aware and then started to reduce my plastic usage, and then like every time I go out with my family for dinner or lunch, I always say in the restaurants that no, like I don't want to use straws, right? So at the beginning they were just like loving, or like they just kind of like not really like agree, then like but like as time goes by and then it's actually spread, then they automatically, like when we go out, they automatically say no straws, so I think like how to manage it is just how to maintain the consistency. I think it's just that we need to really see that our value, right? So make it our value, because and then like never actually dumb your value, right? Which is, I think, is very important. I think in every business, every like great business, also like in Unilever or in any other like great business, like innovation business like Apple or like Tesla, what they do is value, right? So they always bring their value. So it is about your why. So it's actually to maintain that. Maybe it's difficult, but when you have your value, which is our company values, also, and our vision is to create a world without plastic pollutions, then once we creating plastic pollutions, we are not consistent, right? Then the business also, I think that will like make like they will collapse as well, right? So make it as a value. So like every time there is a challenge, or like there is an issue, then like you just like you can maintain it, because that's why you created the business in the first place. That's why you're doing what you're doing in the first place, right? So having a value, like, and you know why you do what you do, and I think that's how we can maintain it. Yeah, that's what I think. Yeah.
Yeah. That's great. Yeah, I think it applies to actually doing all the things in our life, right? Because we cannot actually change other people, but we can change how we do things, and at least we can try to inspire and motivate them to actually do the same for a bigger cause. On what we actually believe will be much better for everyone. And yeah, very good point. Thank you for sharing. All right. Let's move on to the next question. Okay, it goes from Tiara. I want to ask how to increase awareness society for throw away a plastic trash. I want to ask how to increase awareness society for throw away a plastic trash. This questions is for Ibu Nurdiana. Bu, have you got to understand the question?
No, I think the question is how do we increase society to address how people throw plastic
Ah,
trash.
possibly. Yep, yep.
If- so I think is well throwing it away. That's not what we want, right? What we want is to recycle as much as possible, and it has to start from the origins, which is what we call is the
Hmm.
upstream. Most upstream is our own houses, and this
Mm-hmm.
is why gerak pilah plastic again is very important. Is to really you as an individual, you have to be able to really change your own paradigm about not throwing plastic away, because if you throw away, there's a mentality in our mindset that it has no value. Now what we need to understand that every single plastic that we have right now in our homes, there's still economic value to every single one of those packaging. So we have to retain those every single plastic packaging by segregating them and then bring it to a waste bank. And then you can get value for money for the recyclables that you bring to the waste banks. So don't throw away, throw that away from your mindset. Get into your mindset that every single plastic has economic value and we have to recycle it. I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, yeah, not, yeah, yeah. I didn't understand what the question means. Yeah, yeah, that's true. What we need to throw is throw away a plastic mindset. Yeah, not throw
Yes,
away the plastic.
yes, exactly.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I think that makes sense because currently what I feel as well, to be very honest, like okay, this plastic doesn't really matter, so let's just throw it away. It won't is not reusable anymore for me personally. And if it is yes, how can I actually do what's the next step? Like I don't know where to put it, right? But then you've answered those whole questions through the videos and also on how actually your company have tried to manage those kind of thing. Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
If I can just add one more thing.
Yeah, yeah,
So
please do.
what we feel, what we think is no value, such as a plastic, such as carton boxes, and such as anything else, newspapers, they're of value to pamulong as well, the waste pickers. So again, it's this mindset of throwing it away, throw that away, anything that you have, newspapers, if you still have newspapers, if you have carton boxes, and if you have plastics, they're of value. Whether you bring it to the waste banks, or what you can also do is to package them very nicely for the waste, because for the pamulong to pick them up, that's their economic, that's a livelihood for them. So I hope our friends here are also touched by that. We also need to look out for our pamulong friends. They are they 80% of our recyclables now are collected by pamulong guys. So if it's not for them, we will have even more trash in our environment. So we should give them much appreciation.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's a good point. All right, let's move on to the next question. It's from Edbert. The questions is how long does it take for circular economics to be fully implemented in Indonesia? Is it possible? And what does it take to be implemented by everyone in the country? I think this question can be helped answered by Budanti.
Okay, thank you for the questions. Again, such a great questions here. So for circular economy itself in Indonesia specifically, I've mentioned before, yeah, that we already trying to start it in our country. So we have NPAP, the project where Indonesia, government of Indonesia partner up with the World Economic Forum creating a project, creating a studies, creating a strategy to tackle down our plastic pollution problem. Not to mention also the circular economy plan by that created by the Ministry of Planning and Development in Indonesia. They want to implement this circular economy mindset in their implementations, so that they can achieve the development target of Indonesia. In terms of how long it will take, I'm not sure how to answer this one, because it's very depends on how we as a society, the businesses and other stakeholders cooperating in, like trying to support these implementations, trying to give a good information, so that the strategy that being implemented is the strategy that is the most effective one and the most efficient one. And I think if we want to talk about, strategy, those strategies kind of belong to government businesses, yeah. So kind of like, then what we need to do as individuals. So perhaps what I'm going to, advise you guys to be part of this movement, be part of the solutions, is to try to dig deeper into, like this kind of topics. What is really the problems? Because a lot of information is also not really, not really verified. So, and also one issues that is also very important to note is about the greenwashing phenomenon. So I think young generation need to know those kind of issues in the first place, so that later on, when the government take into action the strategy and also the businesses implemented their strategy towards this sustainability, we can all work together. I hope that can answer the questions. Yeah.
Yeah. Wonderful answer, bro. It makes sense because we need to do it together, right? And the timeline, first, maybe like the government will be the one who actually create the timeline, or the sustainable development goals. They have their own timeline, right? For us to actually pursue that. But then it goes back again to the implementation of how the society actually accept it and make it happen. So
Right.
so guys, thank you for joining this kind of talk. So I really hope that this kind of thing really help us to actually understand how to make our life more sustainable, and to actually help to educate other people through the actions that we're actually doing as well. All right, let's move on to the next question. It goes for David. It comes from Adelina. How long does it take for Evo and Co to analyze and develop the product lines to actually fit Indonesian market? And is it possible to expect some more product innovation in the future? I think on the last question, I will answer yes. Okay, David, please answer on the first one. How do you make it localized? Yeah.
Yeah. So for the last answers, for the last questions, you already answered it. Is correct. It's yes for sure. Yeah. For the first questions, actually until now we still keep analyzing and developing the products. Is about continuous improvements, right? Like we cannot just be done and say enough for this. Like we keep analyzing and developing the products, especially I think I'm type of persons that learning by doings. So we can either analyze from the beginnings, do market research and everything, but I'm not really that patient. Actually, I just like want to take action directly. So usually, like every business that I do is just like go, and then we learn by doing, right? So yeah, so the answer is until now we still like analyzing and developing the product lines. Like we see from the market for sure, from our experience that we do, like when we try to promote the products in local markets, or like with then. But if we think that it's not fit for the Indonesian market, we can just always sell it to international market, because we also have distributors in other countries, and we have also like office in other countries as well. So like we can like always do that. But for to fit Indonesian market, I think now is just about like how we can make it like more economically feasible. Yeah, I think Indonesian market is very price sensitive. First, so that's why in our Warung Lestari, we kind of like innovate in the business model, right? Which is subsidizing, and then also we see also the demand that brand like big companies also need to actually do their CSR or EPR, and then we can grab that, and then we can put that into the beneficiaries with the Warung. And then also in the product developments, we goes more like we see like we develop more on the raw material side at the moment. So how can the raw materials become like cheaper by actually doing like a lot of like byproducts on it. So that's the research that we are doing right now as well. So we keep improving and keep developing the products. So for sure there is much more products innovations in the futures that hopefully we can create or we can also bring from others. Yeah.
Okay, that's very nice. Yeah, you actually test. You've already tried to localize. Maybe like one of the thing is you try to use assets from Indonesia, right? From seaweed, for example. So you make you create new jobs for people. But then on the same side, you see like the Indonesian market is very price sensitive, especially maybe if we're not educated well enough around eco-friendly products, we feel like it's not worth to buy. We better buy a more cheaper products, which is comes in plastic, but then you try to actually make it happen through your project in Warung Lestari, and also working collaboration with other type of businesses. And I see that there's a lot of more enthusiasm regarding this kind of topics, right? Sustainability, minimalism, or using less is more and such. And I think it helps more to change the habits of all the society. So it goes hand in hand, David, right? And you keep on improving one step at a time. And I think that's the kind of thing that a business should actually implement. I believe Unilever also does that kind of thing, continuous improvement, because we cannot stay at one place when it is already like it is successful. Then we don't change anything because the world keeps on revolving and trends keeps on changing, right? Yeah. All right. So let's move on to the next question. This is for Ibu Nurdiana because it literally says Unilever. How does Unilever convince consumers about USLP's program to keep consumers loyal to Unilever products?
Okay. So the USLP was 2019 to 2020. Now we have a new compass. So our guiding principles are guided by the compass, and I presented that very early on in my presentation. Now, how do we keep our consumers loyal to our products? The first things first, we believe in responsible business, right? We believe that responsible business is good business, is viable business, is profitable business. But David Christian is an example of that today, right? You don't take shortcuts. You have to be responsible with whatever you do, whatever you present to your consumers. That's the first thing. Now, in Unilever, we have, in Indonesia itself, we have 44 brands and 1,000 over SKUs. Now, how do we keep track of all these brands? Now, every single brand has a purpose. Has a purpose. So Bango has a purpose, Sunlight has a purpose, Love and Beauty Planet has a purpose. Every single one has a purpose. And they walk the talk. So they have their purpose, they say their purpose, and that's the say, but they also they brand do is what we call it internally. We brand do. So they walk the talk. What is it that they do in order to really achieve and be an exemplary product to the rest of the market, that what they produce and how they produce it and how they present it to the consumers are exactly how they say their purpose is. And through that and through communication, so you walk the talk, right? You can't just convince people with promises. So you have to walk the talk. And then you communicate back to the consumers what you've been doing. And that's not RIA, that's not to talk about, but that's transparency, that's the accountability as well. So you make a commitment, you make the programs, you implement the program, and then you report back. That's accountability, that's governance. And with that kind of process, what we hope is that our consumers will differentiate our products away from the competition and be loyal to our products. I hope that answers the questions.
Yeah, that's very true. Because yeah, I think it goes round and round. That the is very correct that what David also have mentioned before, that we need to have value what we hold, and in every brand of Unilever, it has its own value, its own purpose, but then it serves the same thing, right? It goes for all the thing, the three people, I believe, like for the people and for the planet also, and the profit, so it can be sustainably working round and round. It goes. So
Yeah.
yeah. And how you track it is being in, so USLP, or the program, that the compass that you're currently having now, is being implemented, injected in every purpose of the brand, so they can actually reborn those, they can actually make it into activation of their own brand, right? Like, okay, how can Bango try to be more sustainable? Oh, in terms of this kind of packaging. Oh, in terms of how we make this activation. And yeah, that's such a nice ecosystem. So I really hope that it answers. I believe it answers. Okay.
Maybe just a
Yeah.
little bit to add to that. So, responsible business is a sustainable business. Now, what I mean about sustainable business is not just about the great things that we're doing, but the business itself is sustainable, right, Pak David? It has to be sustainable. It has to make profit, and that profit comes back into the innovation. That profit comes back into the deployment of the programs. That comes back into helping communities as well. So that's a circular economy business. That's a sustainable business.
Yes, correct. I believe, because if we're not creating profit anyway, how can we actually communicate to people and then create new innovations and make the people work and have a creative thinking of doing things, right, Boo? So yeah, every business, mostly it should goes on those kind of underline, because yeah, we cannot lie that if we're not making profit, the business cannot survive, guys. All right. Next, let's move on to the next question. Okay. Okay. It comes from Fanny to Ibu Denti. Do you think the efforts made now by businesses are enough to reduce the use of plastic packaging in Indonesia?
Okay, thank you, Fanny, for the questions. So, regarding the effort that is made by business in Indonesia, I think the effort is already huge. Like, it's a good start. Companies like Unilever, like Evo and Co, is already starting their part on to the contribution on solving up the plastic packaging waste problem. So the effort is good, like this has giving a good start, but then we still now currently facing the plastic packaging waste problem, right? Especially plastic packaging and also the other waste problems. So I hope that a good start that is initiated by Unilever, by Evo and Co can be always continued by also the other businesses out there. So the impact could be multiplied, replicate in the other area as well, not only like in the big city. It can also ripple into the rural area, so everyone's at the end will have kind of like sustainable mindset in their head. So I think what we already doing now is a good start for us to keep on continuing this initiative, so that at the end we can solve the plastic waste problem together. Yeah, I hope that
Okay.
answers.
Yeah, yeah, thank you. So it goes by time, and we've seen companies trying to implement this, for example, like our speakers today, right? Okay, so now let's move on to the next question for David. It comes from Cindy. How long does it take for sustainable packaging to decompose? And how durable it is compared to the regular plastic packaging?
So yeah, thank you for the questions. For our packaging, usually it can be decomposed within like 3 to 6 months. You can hear me, right? Okay, yeah. Yeah, like it can be decomposed within 3 to 6 months. Usually, most of our packaging, and compared to plastics, of course, plastic is more durable. Plastic is so durable until it cannot be decomposed. It is too durable sometimes. So when we rethinking about it, actually, like about the durability of plastics, of course, some of the plastic that we use, like earlier, Bu Nurdiana already mentions about like all of our products, including our laptops, our phones, everything's have plastics, right? But those need to be very durable. But like some of the products, like for example, like when we're talking about small things like straws, right? Use like how long are we gonna use the straws, the plastic straws, right? Are we gonna use it for 1 week, 1 month? No, right? Like one time, maybe like 1 hour, only like maximum like 2 hour, 3 hours, right? And then like it's done, right? Like you don't need to use it anymore. But it's too durable. Then like when you throw it away in the nature, it will almost never degrade, right? And that's what created the problems, actually, like the single use plastics that creating the pollutions, right? And also like the microplastics that create the pollution. So when we thinking about our products, like we just think that, okay, like I think like for example the straws, at least like if the straws can last for like 2 hours in the drink, I think that's enough, right? Then it can be like decomposed like faster. Or like our bags, right? Like the bags, like if we thinking about like how in the single use plastics, like the single use plastics story, right? Like how is like from it's created from the petroleums that it takes, and then from manufacturing it and then sending it like all over the place in the logistics, right? And then we only use it for like 5 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours, or 3 hours. But then we throw it, and then it's too durable that is gonna be there in the environments, in our environments for hundreds of years, right? Then it also doesn't make sense, I think, for me, right? Yeah. So we just need to design it so that like I think everything that are too much is not good. So just make it enough, yeah, just make it like enough. So yeah, so it's not as durable as plastic for sure, and we don't want to create as durable as plastic unless we want to change those plastics from like the plastic that are need to be very durable, like for phones or camera or everything like that. We are more focusing on the single use one. Yeah.
Yeah. The single-use one, and it is compostable and can be can be degraded, right? All
Yeah.
right. So I think it goes to the last question. We've run out of time, but because the questions are so many, so yeah, I really hope that you guys have got a lot of insights and do something about it. Okay, to the last question. It's for all the speakers. It goes from Arini. It's an interesting question personally for me. Reuse and recycle are two great things to decrease the amount of waste in our environment. But when they become a trend and a habit, perhaps, doesn't it make another amount of waste? For example, like metal or bamboo straw. Will this something again, like something that we need to do something about it again? So, if yes, how to face it? Maybe we can start from Ibu Nurdiana.
Okay. All right. Very interesting question. So I think the aim is not to rid off things that we now currently enjoy, but the question is to how do we really decrease the amount that we only need it so much, right? So the thinking is not to eliminate everything. I don't think that's possible. We are so used to living a good life. We are so used to being able to use a laptop, to use a mouse, and this is the convenience of how technology and innovations have come to where we are now. And to go back to, Neanderthal ages, I don't think that's possible. I don't think anyone would want to go back there, right? But now we have to rethink again, what is the most efficient use of the things that we need. Let's say, let's not talk about plastic. Let's talk about clothes, for instance. Do you really need 50 pairs of shoes? Do you really need 50 t-shirts? These are the things that you need to rethink about the efficiencies that you as a human being and the way that you live your life, and you just use what is more sufficient. And with doing so, you're thinking not just about today, but you're thinking about our future as well, my children's future, their future, their children's future as well. So reuse and recycle is a great way to get us going in that mode of paradigm and mode of behavioral change. Will that eliminate everything? No, it will not eliminate, but it will substantially reduce the amount of waste that we have now. Don't look at, the nearby. Go to Bantar Gebang. You haven't seen Bantar Gebang? Have a look at Bantar Gebang and think about what you can do to really decrease the amount of landfill in Bantar Gebang. Now, your contribution to just use David's, seaweed straws, and the I really like the edible cups. Think about that, and how that would impact to you, helping our environment and helping the landfill to be really decreased. So small steps of love, has how Love and Beauty Planet always conveys small acts of love. It's just what you need to do. It's just what we all need to do. Thanks, Gwyneth.
Thank you, Bu, for the answer. Okay, from Ibu Danti.
Okay. I think Bu Nurdiana is actually already answered the questions, but perhaps I just give an additional information. Yeah. So if we can imagine, let's say we currently use a plastic straw, and then we know the trend is now people want to reduce the plastic usage, and then the trend says use a stainless straw, let's say. But then if you use the stainless straw and then you forget in like you left it behind in the restaurant, you buy another stainless straw, and then you forget to bring it with you, and then you buy another straw, and so forth, then you just transfer the problem of plastic waste into metal waste then, right? So really what we need to think about is, when there's a problem, we need to think of why the problem is happening, why the current practice is happening, and have a look into a much more holistic approach in terms of what can I contribute towards this kind of problems. Sometimes it perhaps is very small, but I agree with what Bu Nurdiana says before. Small acts is actually, if we done it massively, like all population in Indonesia done it together, it's create a big impact. So I hope that adds something else from my perspective towards these questions. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for that. For the Arab, it's a nice answer, Bu. Okay, last but not least, David, your thoughts on here?
Yeah, it's always difficult to be in the last answer because the first and the second, Bruni, Diana, and Budanti, I think is already answering the questions. I'm gonna confuse. I'm kind of confused. How am I gonna add to this? Yeah, like I'm totally agree with Bruno Diana and Budanti, and then also about how actually small actions matters. As Budanti also mentioned earlier about if sometimes people think it's only like, for example, one straw, but like 7 billion people thinking about it, it's become 7 billion straws, right? But yeah, I think I just want to add that that's also actually what we were thinking why our campaign is called Rethink Campaign, right? Because those like there is no such thing as a one solution to this problem. I think like every solutions are actually need to come together, right? That's why our campaign called Rethink Campaign, because the first things that we need to do are actually to rethinking about it, rethinking about our lifestyles, our ways, the way we consume things and the way we produce everything. So we need to rethinking about it, and then from there we can actually start by like reducing, right? Like earlier, like already, like the for example like straws, right? First is actually to reduce straws, right? If we thinking about it again, if we rethinking about it, actually like our cups here, like the glass is everything is designed so that we can drink directly from the glass, right? Like so that we can drink directly from the cup. So why do we need to use straws? It defeat the purpose of the design of the cups, right? So we don't need to use it in the first place. And then like so then straws created actually because of when people get sick, right? Or maybe use cosmetics or things like that. That can be used, right? But now like everyone kind of like use straws, even though like we don't need to use straws. So first can be like reduced, right? But if you need to use straws, you can use either like the reusables one, but then it can. But if you always forget, just don't buy it. Or like companies can also use the compostables one, like our products, right? But at the end of the day, if we still creating a plastics waste, right? Just recycle it or upcycle it. Don't just throw it away. So everything's need to be done. There is no such things as a one solution. So the reuse, recycle, reduce, replace, everything's we need to actually do what we can, and we just do like everything, anything that we can, either like one of it, yeah. But that's actually what hope it's add up as well. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, David, for the answers. Yeah, there's no one answer towards the question. There's a lot of way to actually do it, make it happen. So yeah, trying to implement it is first, if I can recap, is by reducing and thinking it into more efficiently how you want to use it, not just eliminating everything. Because to be honest, like today, we're being here today, we're actually using a laptop off from yeah, there's a plastic in here, right? So yeah, if not, we cannot actually deliver this kind of topics. So it's more into like choosing of whether you really need that kind of thing when you want to buy something. So yeah, the less is more, because it makes more it makes life more simple. And today we want to make life more simple, right, guys, because there's a lot of things that we need to do and learn more. All right. So I think it's such a very insightful topics. Many questions coming in, and we've run out of time by that. So I'm very grateful for today's session. Very grateful for the chance to have listened to you guys and to actually learn from everyone's here. I want to say thank you to everyone, and to end this session, we would like to give a certificate. And so, first of all, let's go to Ibu Nurdiana Daros. Okay. So here you go, Ibu Nurdiana. So we will take a picture. Okay, so the team behind, please take a picture. I'll count to three. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Once more again, 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you, Bu Nurdiana. Thank you for your sharing. Very grateful to have you here. I hope to see you next time, and I hope you will be in a good health. Thank you, Bu. All right, now let's move on to David. Okay, David, let's take a picture together. I'll count to 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, once more. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Thank you, David, for being here. Thank you for sharing your knowledge and your experience. I hope it really inspires a lot of people and make them want to do something as well as how you did it for Indonesia and for the environment. Thank you, David. I hope to see you soon and hope to see more innovations coming in from Evenco. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Bye bye.
Bye. Okay, last but not least, our faculty member. Okay. Hi, Vedante. Let's take a picture together. Okay, please, guys, I'll count to three.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Okay, once again. 1, 2, 3. All right. Thank you, Vedante, for the sharing session.
Thank
Thank you
you,
for adding
Brian, for
a lot of
inviting me.
insight. Thank you. I hope to
Bye.
see you soon and I hope you're in good health. Thank you.
You
See you next time.
too. Bye.
Bye. All right. Okay, guys. So that's the session for today. It's such a long session because we've been running out of time because there's a lot of question coming in. I saw many of you guys trying to actually to be actually your questions to being chosen by the team, but very sorry for all of you guys that have been putting a lot of questions but haven't got a chance to be answered. I hope it can be answered sometime in the future or next time. But for now, I would like to say thank you for being here up until now. Before we end this session, I want to remind you guys that please fill the feedback form that you've been waiting for to get the e-certificate, right? The link is here. You can scan it right away from the QR code, or you can actually click it up on the comment box because the team behind have already sent the link on the chat box. Okay. I want to remind that please fill this to claim your e-certificate latest 30 minutes after this minute, which is 1 p.m. So you only have 30 minutes to fill this form. So don't postpone anything if you want to get the certificate. All right. Have you take a picture of this? And anyhow, click the link in the comments. Okay? All right. So before I close this, I would like to remind you guys to attend the next Orbit 3, the next CUBE session, which will be held on Saturday, August 21, 2021. It's 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, we will have another session talking about trend of beauty brands and its sustainability. There, we will have a very amazing speakers, which is Professor Maria Capangestu. She's currently the managing director of development and policy in the World Bank. Previously, also was our Menteri, and we will also have again Ibu Melinda Safitri, the business unit head of Unilever Beauty and Personal Care Mestage. We will also have Agung Bimo Listianu, co-founder of Carbonatics, and last but not least, Michelle Ham, the founder and CEO of Skin Game. So you guys don't want to miss this session because it's gonna be very insightful as well and gonna be helpful for your journey ahead. Okay, so it will be live on YouTube at 8:30 p.m. Not p.m. Sorry, at 8:30 a.m. So stay tuned there. Don't forget to subscribe this channel so you guys can just get the reminder when we're up already on live. And there will also be prizes coming in for the interesting Q&A like we are going to do today, like we have did today. And for more info, please go check and follow IG at cube.prasmo. Not only that, we will also have an IG Live tomorrow on IG Cube at cube.prasmo with kausa.id at 9:30 p.m. There will also be a giveaway and games in the IG session. So make sure to follow their Instagram at cube.prasmol and join the live. Okay, now let's proceed to the announcement of the top 10 team that will continue to the elimination round. Before the team show, I just want to point out that this list is not based on points, so it just goes randomly. Okay, so now let's see who goes to the top 10. Congratulations to this top 10 team. Applause, guys. I hope you give an applause in the comment so I can feel like the vibes. Anyway, congrats to all the 10 teams for going to the next round. I really wish you all the best and hope that today's insight can actually help you guys to create a more better insights and solutions of this project. All right. Thank you so much. And now I would like to announce the next winner for our Q&A giveaway. You will get a Lingotalk vouchers, also hampers from Love, Beauty, and Planet. And the winner of the giveaway of the Q&A are... Okay, thank you. Thank you for participating today, guys. Thank you to Edric, Linsa, and Dina, and also Arini for the amazing questions. I hope that the insight that you got today can actually help you to make a better decisions in the future, also helping others to understand more about sustainable living, about plastic packaging, and how we can make it a better place to live in. Okay, so thank you so much for today. I guess it's everything that I've been trying to inform you guys. So for all the winners, just wait. Okay, we also have another 3-1. Okay, sorry. You guys will win a Lingotalk voucher winner, which is Raka, Cindy, and Adelina, and all the winners will be claiming your prize through Instagram. So please DM at cube.prasmo and they will ask you for the shipping details and all the details needed. So congratulations once again, guys. Okay, so last but not least, I would like to thank you to our media partner and also KISS contributor. Thank you for B Voice Radio, Motown Event, and Students X CEO Bandung. On top of that, once again, thank you to our KISS contributor, PT Unilever Indonesia, Love, Beauty, and Planet. Okay, so I think it's all for today, for our session today, talking about plastic packaging. I really hope that is helpful for you guys, insightful for you. And once again, thank you for being here until today. And thank you for having me as your MC/moderator. I'm Gwenat Evelyn, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.